Hey everybody, Jason from Lambert Drive Studios. Welcome to my channel. This is the third video in my Gibson versus Epiphone Les Paul series. Today we are shopping for the ultimate Gibson Les Paul. I'm going to show you what to look for and hopefully we can find one that we want to take home. So let's get into it. Okay, for this episode in the series I'm using the exact same Marshall amp as I used for the Epiphone Les Paul tests when I was in the store here last week. So just nice low gain setting and volume pretty low so we can hear the tone of the guitar. First one I got in my hands here right now is the Gibson Les Paul Studio. This is the lowest of the models and this is where we start with the Gibson. Okay, for all the fretboard testing, I've got the guitar amp on a clean channel so I can hear exactly what the frets are doing, and I'm just gonna run through all the frets on the guitar and make sure they are good to go. That is the number one thing that I look for when buying a new guitar, is just making sure there's no dead frets anywhere. So this Gibson Les Paul Studio sounds like it's good to go. Everything sounds good on it. Just do a couple string bends higher up in the frets to double check it as well. Okay, so you can hear right there, this one's got a bit of a, because of the string set up on it right now, the bridge setup, the action's pretty high on it. So right now it's very uncomfortable to do a string bend up in the higher registers at the moment. Holding down that baby E string, I'm getting caught on the B string when I lift. So this one's going to need some further setup before it's extremely playable. Next one up in the Gibson Les Paul food chain is the Classic, and then I got a nice cherry red one here. It looks pretty good, so we're going to give it its paces and have a listen and make sure it sounds good. Okay, let's do the same tests on the Les Paul Classic. Now we'll do the high up fret tests, make sure there's no dead frets or buzzing. While I'm here, I'll do some string bends too. So the action on this one is slightly lower than the Studio, so you get the bends in a little easier there. Still needs to be lower just slightly for it to be playable though, in my opinion. Alright, so that's it for fret testing on the Les Paul Classic. Going from the Studio, this one definitely feels a lot nicer straight from the factory. Everything feels pretty well set up on it. One cool feature about all the Gibson Les Pauls too is they got the push-pull pots for changing between all the pickups. I love this feature, so you can get a lot of different tone combinations with these. Alright, the last Gibson Les Paul I got in my hands for today is the Standard. This is the most expensive one that they got in store. Obviously, Les Paul Custom is as high as they go in that food chain, but I mean, realistically, who can afford one of those anyways? This one has quite a big neck on it too, so if you got small hands, it might be a little difficult to play, but other than that, this one is by far the best one that I've played today. It just feels great playing it. Okay, time to test the Les Paul Standard, give it all the fret testing. opinion is if you're gonna save up the money and treat yourself to a Gibson, definitely save up and get the Gibson Les Paul Standard. I mean, right away, as soon as I picked this thing up, I could tell the quality from the luthiers and everybody at the Gibson factory, all the work they put in to make these things. And the Iced Tea Pearl color too, can't go wrong with that. That's a nice one. It just feels good, you know? It feels heavy, well built, and I think it'd be a guitar if you bought it, you just would never let it go. You would just keep that guitar for your whole entire life and you'd be extremely happy with it. Hey, if you made it to the end of the video, thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you had fun shopping for a Gibson Les Paul. I mean, there's beautiful guitars. If you are into guitar and guitar related accessories and want to see more stuff from me in the future, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. That would be greatly appreciated, supporting the channel. And we hope to see you in the future. Peace.